Welcome to Kagoshima. We were on the lookout for something interesting. I don't know where it is. We've come to the park. The park doesn't know what it is, but we found a Koopa. Look at him. He just got kicked. He's about to slide out that shell. Gonna be naked.
We are road tripping for a few days here in Kagoshima, and we are in like the fourth Vits that we've been in less than a couple of weeks. And it's rare, but this one is of a darker persuasion than the previous ones have been. And I'm kind of surprised because most cars in Japan are not black. Usually cars are like white and stuff. And I don't think very often have we rented one that is
a color.
A color at all.
Is black the absence of color or all the colors?
I can never remember.
It's very colorful. Car's name is Kurobuta.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah, so we need to find a pig ornament while we ride around. Kuro is black for the black car, and Buta is for pig, and Kurobuta is a special food
from here
that we're hoping to eat. But if we don't get to eat it, at least we got to ride in it.
It's really weird too that this is the same. We've been in this exact make of car over and over and over the whole time we've been in Kyushu.
At least from what I can remember, the third Vits we've been in this trip. Softly touching. This is the Peace Bell, and we're at, I don't know if this is the correct way to say it. It's a peace museum, but it's focused on the kamikaze aspect of World War II. I don't know what to expect from this. I honestly was surprised that I found it in the book, and gonna learn some stuff, that's for sure. Well, that was a sobering start to the morning and to the Kagoshima video.
Yeah, so it is a kamikaze museum essentially, but they preferred the word toko, which is a Japanese word for attacking another military installation via suicide in an airplane, basically.
The distinction is that it's not against civilians, whereas they, or whoever wrote the audio thing that we listened to, the distinction is that kamikaze could be going towards civilians, whereas toko is directed at your opposing enemy's military, the actual enemy, not the people around it.
That said, they did use in the translations the two words interchangeably quite a bit in there, so it seems to be a bit of a gray area the way that it was done. But regardless, it was a museum that was extremely well done. However, we are not allowed to do very much photography inside. There was only a couple of areas where it seemed like it was allowed.
I'll be honest, like visually, there were lots of pictures of people, but most of what we got was letters that you wouldn't just translate onto the screen, and audio that I listened to.
So the way that it's laid out is they have a lot of photographs of the guys that were the pilots that had been in these missions, and then they had a lot of their final letters that they had written, like in the day or a couple of days preceding their final mission.
If my understanding is correct, over 1,000 men left from this airbase.
Yeah,
and
that was here. Well, that's why it's in Kagoshima, because it's a southern area, and
so those 1,000 men went on missions, and they did not come back.
Yeah, one-way missions.
Yes.
So it was to protect Okinawa against the invading U.S. Army at the time during World War II, of course, and the airbase was where we're standing essentially right now in this little town, which is why the museum sits here now. And the heaviest part is, I mean, obviously just the circumstances generally heavy, but they also, you see this like really hard to swallow human element.
And interpersonal connections between the people that are leaving and the people they're leaving behind.
And there's like, it's these letters that they've written, it's just so heavy that they start like, you know, it'll start off, it'll be like, to mother, or to my little sister, or whatever, and they write these things. And the one that like was really like, one of them was written in katakana, and he was writing it to his children. And the reason that's kind of significant is because that was the first script that they would have learned, the kids would have learned back then, because he wanted them to be able to read it as soon as possible. And like, he had 2 kids, you know, and there's something about the fact that he like took the time to write it out in katakana instead of writing it in like formal Japanese or whatever, that's just sort of like impactful. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't, it's hard to wrap your mind around being in this mindset that they were in, where they were like, this is the thing that needs to be happening, or, you know, just in general, down to the individual, but from the military all the way down. It's really, really heavy just on a human level, and like taking politics aside and everything, it's just like these people were just like, this is what's got to be done. And like
the thing that is stuck out with me is two things about that mindset. One thing about that mindset is that they really felt that this was the necessary means to the end that they wanted. They wanted to succeed, and they saw that putting their life on the line was going to make them succeed. And I don't know how to get into that mindset. I just don't, I don't think I ever could. But there's another mindset to this that I was weirdly like, it clicked for me. And all of these people we saw, like the day that they died, most of them died in squadrons. You don't have to go to death by yourself. And I'm thinking like, I'm going to go to the end of my life and I'm going to be sitting in a hospital room and I will be by myself. These people, they looked over to the person next to them and they were there.
Well,
there was someone with them, and I don't know.
In
just
a way,
there was something about that.
They definitely did talk about that a lot. How they were trying to build community between the squadrons and stuff, and they wanted them to feel that feeling. But I mean, I wonder what it actually felt like when you were flying over Okinawa, being shot at by a bunch of ships and nosediving into the ground. You know what I mean? Like, how together do you feel alone in a cockpit like that? I really wonder what that is like. I don't know. Your brain goes in a lot of dark places when you go through things like this. Aside from the pilots and stuff, they also talked about the community around here that had been helping them out, and how like all of the junior high and high school age girls and stuff would come and like help prepare food for these guys, and were delivering the letters that the guys were writing back to their families. And they talked about a woman that was living in this area that ran a shokudo, like a restaurant, and how the pilots would all like visit her and stuff, and like she would be one of the last people that they would talk with before the day that they would fly out. And she was old in the interview, and they had video interview of her talking, and she was recalling. I mean, this would have been a long time before she recorded this, but she was recalling these guys, and she was like, yeah, so and so, and she'd say his name, and she like, this is the last conversation we had, and she'd recount this, and like this is all in her mind as like an 90-year-old woman. And that's just like, you know, you could tell she could still see their faces in her mind. This is heavy, man. Behind us, there is this building that is like a triangle-shaped building, and it's one of the barracks, or a reconstruction of the barracks that the guys would have been in. And it said that the night before they would fly out, they would be in these barracks, and they'd be writing their letters and stuff like that. And, you know, it's just, you know, going in there and seeing that too is just kind of like, whoa, this is so real. Like, But yeah, it was intense. It's an intense start to the Kagoshima trip.
Yeah.
And we got to find some food now.
Yes.
Because I'm very hungry. All right, it's lunchtime, thankfully, because I'm starving. And sometimes you come into places and you're like, okay, I'm going to get this food, and you're looking at the menu and you're like reading it, and you're like, I can't be reading what I'm actually reading. I must be translating this wrong. And you read it again, you double check your commentary, you're like, okay, so the pig I'm about to eat was fed tea? Like, that's what's going on. That's what's special about this dish, and that's apparently what is special about this dish. So I've got this big fillet of tonkatsu and a couple different types of little sauces. This is like a miso sauce, and that's what I'm familiar with the most. So I'm going to try first. And like I said, this pig was raised on tea. The reason being is that this area is kind of famous for the tea fields that they had. So I guess if you have surplus tea and you have pigs, then it all makes sense. So the question is, can I taste tea in this pig? The meat is chewy in a way that I'm not used to. I can't really taste any tea in there. I mean, I don't know what really to expect. I'm gonna try a piece without any sauce. It seems to me that the texture of the meat, it's not bad, it's a bit dry. And I'm not an expert, but based on what I have just had, I don't think pigs are supposed to eat tea. It's not terrible or anything. It certainly doesn't taste like tea at all. But yeah, it doesn't feel like maybe this pig got the right nutrition or something. It's just a little bit too dry and a little bit too chewy for it to be something that I would go as far as to say is like exquisitely delicious. Something else that they brought out that's interesting, and I'm assuming that this is because it's green, like tea-based noodles, like soba or something. And I have had stuff like this in the past. That has a very mild undertone of, I don't know if it's exactly tea, but it's kind of green tasting. Like, kind of tastes like celery a little bit. It's okay. It's not usually the type of dish that would be explosively good anyways. The whole shoku looks really nice and everything, and I mean, I'm happy just because I'm eating anything at all.
Can you try the green sauce? That's where I'm at. I'm waiting for that.
I should try this. So that was another dipping, and this is not a normal type of sauce, I guess. I'm really horrible at describing things the first time I eat them. Like trying to come up with like a way to like convey what's going on in my mouth. It's very flavorful. It's gritty, kind of, like in texture. It's very cold. I don't know what it is. It feels a bit familiar. I want you to eat a piece of this and see if you can figure it out. You're much better at this than I am. That's where I'm going to leave that, and we're going to let Katie give it a go, because I think you can figure something out.
Kind of feels like an avocado with a little bit of mayo. I've had it before too, and it's definitely flavorful, but in a dull way. I don't know how to say, like, it's full of flavor, but like down here, as opposed to flavor like taking over, like spicy or like really citrusy or something. It goes down. But that's all I've got. I have no way of describing that. It's good. It's good. I will be using some of your dippins, that's for sure. My lunch has eyeballs. Behind me is Mount Kaimon, and it's a volcano in the distance. But we learned from the perspective of the Toko, I wanted to say warriors. That's what I've left with, that they feel like warriors. When they would leave, going on their missions, they would see Mount Kaimon. And I don't know if one of them wrote or this was just a summation of their feelings, but as they could see it, they were connected to where they were coming from and what they were. And as they were passing by, they'd think about that. And once it was in the distance and it was gone, there was nothing more. They just continued on. We stopped at a little roadside stand and I found this little booger picker. This actually says kurobuta, which is the black pig we've been talking about, no hanakuso, which means boogers. Hanakuso. He's getting in there. It says that their boogers are made of delicious cocoa peanuts. Yeah, that's what's inside of the little guy's nose.
So if you see an Inoshishi-san, you're gonna have to get it out.
Yeah, give me those peanuts. So we hit another New Year's holiday bust. There was a little shop and we wanted to see them producing a certain type of fish, but the shop was kind of closed, or at least a demonstration wasn't happening. So we did not get to see that. And also right now the 5 o'clock music is playing. You can't hear it over the water. Everybody go home. But that made me look at the map and I realized, oh my gosh, we're really close to this seahorse thing you can go do. Seahorses? So we went to see the seahorses and it was pretty cool. And it was free. We couldn't believe that. We got to walk into this little place and see this little magical... I realized that I now find seahorses creepy, but we got to see it for free and enjoy ourselves. And I did find something I wanted to buy so that I could like contribute, but they weren't selling it, so I didn't get to buy it. It's a bummer. You try to contribute to the seahorses and you can't get the item. We've also come out to like this waterway because the seahorse place is right on the beach, and there are a lot of like little things that you can go and do along the coast, yes, that is the word I was looking for. And you should be able to walk across this little thing that we're standing next to, but we've hit a bump in the road where I don't know if we're going to be able to get across without possibly falling in the water or ending up with soggy shoes. Neither is optimal for the situation right now.
Sometimes you don't find the sign that explains what you're looking at until after you've already filmed like what you're going to say about it. But in this case, I realized I got to make a amendment here. And this circle that's behind us that is sometimes walkable, not now, but sometimes, is called the Dragon Ball. And it is said that if you are able to walk all the way around it during low tide, which, I mean, during low tide doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but if you're able to complete that, then you can enter the paradise of the dragon, like the kingdom of the dragon, like in the middle of it. It'll open up and you can go in. It's pretty wild sounding. And apparently that it exists in reality from some volcanic activity that happened a long time ago. I want to see this dragon.
You gotta kiss like seahorses.
What? But that means I have to take the eggs.
I'm gonna give you my eggs.
How do we do this? Wait, where are the seahorses? You gotta put your belly together like this, and then bring it in. I got the eggs, y'all.
My eggs are powerful. You have to use your 100 yen wisely. And I just spent mine on this nifty little seashell. Many people have written their amazing wishes or hopes or comments or whatever. You pay your 100 yen, you get to get your own shell out. We've gone with a classic for this year. Best wishes in the year before the 2020 Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games. Katie and Eric. It's appropriate. Now, where will we drop it off?
It feels whack to cover somebody else's.
Yeah. Maybe somebody's has a date that's later. I don't know.
Later? What, from the future?
I meant like long ago. Oh no. I'm gonna have to think about this one. It's our first night, the Kagoshima trip, and let's talk about hotels. When you book a hotel like 2 nights in advance, there's not a whole lot left. And in the area that we're in, there's a lot of tourist things to do. And this will be coming up on the weekend. It's actually a Thursday night right now.
But it's still kind of the holiday.
It's still kind of the New Year's holiday. Yeah. So a lot of people have time off. A lot of people have chosen to take time off, and you're fighting a lot of people. So right now, we can either stay in a pricey hotel that's like down where all the tourist stuff is, which is not necessary for us. We don't really need to be near it because we have a car.
When you say pricey, like eyeball or
Ichiman, like $100 a night.
Okay.
Yeah. Where we are staying is about $50 a night.
Okay.
It is not in the tourist center by any means. It's over by a lake that I thought the lake would be cool. We'll see that in the morning.
Yeah. And the reason that we haven't seen the lake yet is because check-in here is not until 6 p.m. Little strange.
We are hitting it Love Hotel style tonight. But this Love Hotel was booked on Airbnb. I have realized that a lot of Love Hotels probably already had that certificate.
Oh, yeah.
So now they're seeing another avenue that they wouldn't have been able to use. People wouldn't have been interested in going with them, but now people don't really have a choice.
I don't know if I'd call this a love hotel. This looks like some scary little shacks.
It feels kind of scary. If I drove over
Very
here by
weird.
myself, I would be like, okay. What we drove into, there's no driveway. It's not paved. It is grassy and moist and weird. Moist, yeah. And now we're going to get ready to go into the building.
Let's do it.
Which
we've never been inside, so this will be an adventure.
For everyone.
Can you do me a favor and help me pull the cable out of the bottom of my phone?
Yep.
Thank you. I gotta use my phone for light because it's so dark. All right. So, y'all, this is sketchy. Straight up sketchy.
This wall just looks kind of gross to me. But I'm feeling rather confident that this is us. Airbnb reservation. That'd be us. I think we can just walk in. You got the door?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoes off.
Light switch.
I'm working on it. So, yeah. Gotta take your shoes off first. Whoa. Okay. It's like being at Grandma's house, but Grandma's a genie. We got robes. Robes are nice. They hit up the IKEA. The wallpaper is real shiny. It is Love Hotel to the max. Now, what I'm wondering is where's the bathroom?
I don't think there is a bathroom, dude.
It said there was a bathroom.
In the room?
Yes, here we go.
Oh, it's just hidden in the wallpaper.
It's just hidden in the fucking wallpaper. Okay. Now, we were worried because the advertisement said there was smoking allowed in the bathroom, in the entire room. It's not that bad.
No, it's more musky
It's
and
more-
moldy than it is.
Yeah. But I guess I prefer that smell.
Over cigarette smell or whatever. This doesn't stick on you.
I'm unsure about...
There's a lot of switches.
Ah.
Oh,
Oh, something turned on. There we go.
all right.
I don't know what's that button do?
That's your snake button? That's what you put for your
Yep.
snake?
Snake is on. All right. I don't want to burn down the house. Okay, we've got a lovely little toilet. Normals.
Lift that thing up and see if it's got a cushy seat. I don't like cushy seats. Oh, lovely.
Warm.
And it's warm?
And it's warm.
Wonderful.
It's the warmest thing in the whole room. The air conditioner, the heat has not been on all day, so it's quite cold in here. Holy shit, look at the floor.
Is it dry? Can you step in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wow, it's dazzling. Okay, it's better than I expected. It's marble plus seahorse tile plus cookies and cream tile plus mold. This is decadent. And then there's a big mirror over here in case you needed to
Can the
mirror.
mirror see through the out of the room or anything like that?
It kind of seems like it might be able to. Like there's a haze that goes through here,
Yeah, that's
and you
pretty
can see a
strange.
print on the mirror. So I wonder if at one point you could see through, and this was like part of the funky adventure of this Love Hotel, is you can see into the shower.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. Look, it's a wall. Like a
Yep.
Yeah.
It used. Wow. This is a funky little place, man. I'm gonna wave at you from the shower.
I'm gonna press a ham.
I'm not unpleased by any means. I'm gonna sit in one of those grandma chairs and enjoy the luxurious. Are you gonna wear the pink one and I get the blue one?
No, that's all I'm gonna wear.
Hotel.
It says like Lake Castle.
All right. This is fit for a queen for sure. This bed, man.
Wait, hold on. What's this? Oh, is this a doily?
Yeah, it's just a doily. But this bed is so fuzzy. I'm pretty happy. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth just in the smiling alone right now. I don't know if you're like me, but I like snooping. So I just go through all the stuff that I see. I paid for it. I'm going in. This is where they keep the condoms.
Wait, in a pine cone?
A festive pine cone. It's erotic. And they wrote 200 yen on there. This is one of those things where you be squeezing You be making sure that's still sealed. I'm sorry, but
no.
I don't. No. I'm squeezing it because I want to see if they're messed up. I'm not going to purchase these these Love Time. Oh, this dolphin is selling it. Dang. Who printed this? Who was like, yeah, sexy time, really feeling it. Get those music notes out and this porpoise. This is really just definitely taking it up a notch.
Here, take the camera for a second. I want to show you what I found.
You be stupid.
As it would be if it has a love hotel, there's going to be a TV and there's going to be a DVD player. And usually you're going to find some DVDs that are like, you know, love hotel DVDs. But in this case, we've got a fairly extensive selection of Harry Potter films.
Wow,
a
somebody.
SoftBank Seahawks or SoftBank Hawks DVD. It's like some Japanese baseball. The Slim Sadie Show.
What? That's a thing?
I didn't even know this existed. Terminator 3.
Ooh, I watched that.
And something I'm not clear on what is. So this is the one that might be the dankest, but it just looks like it's just some Japanese TV stuff. So that's an eclectic collection of viewing materials. Not what I expected in here. Yo, you know you're in a love hotel when the switch labeled dining room flips on the lights for the bed. Dining room? What's up, girl? Where are those porpoises? All right, it's morning now, and we're getting our first look into where we stayed in the daylight. And it is rustic and strange. And something that I found especially interesting about this is I think that these rooms are usually literally being used as love hotel rooms, because there's this sign on this door and it basically says at the present time you can't use this room, don't enter this room in Japanese. And he told us like go into the third room down and you can go in and you can get in. So he told us that, and under the assumption we couldn't read the Japanese. But I think that that Japanese sign is there because they have customers that like live around here that use this as a love hotel, and they just come and they do their business, and maybe they just know to leave the money behind. I'm not sure how the payment method works or anything. Maybe he's just taking digital payments or something, who knows. But another slice of proof that this has at least at some point been a relic of love hotelisms is that you've got this little tiny window here. And if you open the window...
What's the password?
This would be a place where you would be able to give money to somebody and they wouldn't be able to see who you were. So this was totally at some point... This is definitely at some point love hotel stuff. It's like no question, 100%. And man, is it the creepiest one I've ever seen. Like a 2-minute drive from where we were staying in that place is this beautiful lake, and that's like its redeeming feature, I think. That and the cost of the place.
Yeah.
Everything else is a bit grim. But the view of this lake is not bad, and you can still see that mountain popping up over the edge, and I really enjoying like watching him watch us as we move around this southern area of Kagoshima.
He's watching us?
He is.
Old man watching you. You ever think that people are just cashing in on something that worked out real well at some other point? Meet Ishi. And Ishi is basically Japan's Nessie. And we just happened upon this I saw a really stupid picture of another one of these statues, and I was like, yeah, we're going to that stupid picture. Turns out that essentially it's an unidentified mysterious animal that lives in this lake, the Lake Ikeda, I think is the name of the lake. Come on guys, get a little more creative. Scotland already covered this. So there's a free viewing of the big eel. We've just happened upon this as well. They blocked out natural monument. Who writes that about an eel? And
then who decides no?
You're a natural monument. I'm a natural monument. But if you want to find the big eels, you just follow the floor. Going in the right direction. Oh, I see another one. We're doing good.
There's also a massive sign.
Oh. still blocking out the restroom and the natural monument.
This better be a pretty big eel. Like, they've built this up pretty hard.
Yeah. We are walking quite some way. I have not seen a large eel on the floor. I'm thinking about veering. I've completely lost all sense of direction. We're still going. But the tank is looking pretty darn big. I don't see anything. Oh my god. I stepped on this grass at the same time and my whole world was off. He's big.
Is he alive is the question.
Unknown. Definitely unknown. They could just put a dead one in there and we'd all go, wow.
Maybe that's why it's not a natural monument anymore.
Well, I mean, dead things are still... When you're dead, I'm going to put natural monument on your tombstone. That's my plan.
I appreciate that.
Wow, that's a big one. Dang. They're all real tired. It's Friday, don't they have to go to work? Like, this is work, get to it. They're all alone, so I assume that these are aggressive beasts. These are the sleepiest eels I've ever met. Across the street is another national... Damn it. Across the street is another natural monument to the rape blossoms. So many. Just leave it at that.
Wintertime is strawberry time in Japan, and there's a lot of things in the supermarket or inside of the convenience stores that's like strawberry flavored this, strawberry flavored that. So I went ahead and I found something that was strawberry flavored for breakfast. And I was just like looking at this thing and I was like, does this exist like in America and stuff? Like, can you go to a convenience store and get the strawberry jam whipped cream hot dog thing? I don't think so, but I thought I'd share it regardless. And it says that this is a new item, so I thought that was interesting. And of specific note, the hot dog bun that this is encompassed in is pink. And the question that I have that I'm dying to know is, does it taste like strawberry? And just so I'm not confusing anybody, I say a hot dog bun just because of shape. It's not, there's no hot dog in here. It's just strawberry stuff and then whipped cream. But I'm really curious about the bread. It smells like strawberry, but it could just be that I'm smelling the jam. I think they just tinted it pink for marketing purposes. I don't think that there's any strawberryness going on in the bread. But the strawberry jam tastes like strawberry jam. There's nothing surprising there.
Is it your jam?
It's okay. The reason that I chose this, there were two. There was this one, there was this other thing that had strawberry on it. And this dude walked up. And he looked like a construction worker, like kind of like a, tough guy. And he stood there for a second, and then he grabbed this thing. I was like, if he's getting it, it's for me. That's really what sold it.
I'm going to do my best to explain the travel situation that we've found ourselves in. This is Kagoshima Prefecture. We're currently located here. We want to, by tomorrow, during the daytime, to be here. The simplest way to do that would be, let's move to the other map. I have props. The simplest way to do that would be to take a ferry over to the other side and then just drive up the coast. This ferry would cost, I'm bringing in money, we're gonna get all of this in there. This would cost us $2,500 for the car and $700 each for both of us. So that ends up being 3,900 yen for that cost. This ferry leaves at 8, 10, 1, and 3:30. This creates some problems for us. If we wanted to take this ferry tonight, we have to leave this area at 3:30. But there's cool stuff to do here, so we're not going to do that. If we wanted to leave tomorrow, we'll hop on the 8 o'clock. That's not going to work either because we just came to the ferry now. We are standing outside, it's about 11:30. The 1 o'clock ferry behind me is filling up with cars because this ferry can only take 10 cars. That's about the average. The lady said sometimes they can get 15 if they're really small cars. So only 10 cars. So if we want to leave at the 8 o'clock ferry. We need to be here at 6 o'clock to get into this line. I don't know when this line started, but you need to be here at 6 o'clock to claim your car spot.
I mean, it could be earlier than that.
It could be.
Give us a number.
Yeah, she certainly wouldn't give us a number because it's not her job to guarantee us anything. So we need to be here early in the morning, possibly, definitely 2 hours before it's going to leave to claim our spot. That's a hefty investment in this ferry, and we might not even make it. So that's the ferry story. The other option here is to leave from where we are now and go all the way around in a car. That's one option that we're thinking about.
How long
could that'll take 2.5 to 3 hours? Eric says 4. I will be betting with him about that later. So let's say that takes 4 hours. And we'll leave that option on the table right now. If we take this ferry, if you have to be here at 6 o'clock, the earliest you can get to this island, it would take 5 hours. Because you have to be here at 6 o'clock, adding 2 hours
Waiting
to your...
for 2 hours.
Just sitting here, you can have a block party or a boat party.
Then it's an hour to transit.
Yep.
And a 2 hour drive.
2 hour drive.
So it takes less time to drive all the way around.
It takes less time to drive all the way around. But there's one more thing that we're thinking about. You can drive from here up to Kagoshima City, and maybe there is a ferry there that would probably cut off a good number of hours of riding, but might add a little bit more money. So there's possibilities of how we could do this, but the worst possibility is the simplest one.
Can I get you to take a look at this map here?
I don't trust Google.
Come on.
You and Google?
Come on. Take a look at the map. How's that bet going?
My bet is on actual data of driving data.
You think you're gonna drive twice as fast?
I said 2.5 to 3 hours. 2.5 to 3 hours.
Before y'all.
We've come to an exciting little train station, and it's the southernmost train station here in Japan, all of Japan. And the train is coming up. We did not time this. This is just... Should I scoot over? Oh, yeah, kind of exciting. So a lot of people here who just want to see that we are train spotting right now. It's exciting.
It's a one-man.
One man. That means one dude's on the whole train operating the thing. What I didn't expect about this particular train stop was that people on the train were going to get off and just try and shoot pictures of, there's like a landmark here that marks that it is the southernmost train station, and people are hopping off of the train, and I think the train is actually staying here at this location a little bit longer than it would other places so that people can get their tourist pictures. That was a little surprising because for me, the train doesn't stop for your preference. It continues to go. You figure out your life, but it's figuring out the lives of many people who want to get a picture of this.
All right, so this is what shows us what the most southern train station is. And it's funny because I expected this to be end of line, like southern and stops, but that's not how it rolls. This is actually just the middle of the line, and it comes down here, and you can see it just barely dips down below these other two train stations, which puts it just barely further south than these other two. And that's what dictates it being southern. So it's a little bit different than like when I went to Hokkaido and I went to Wakanai, which is the most northern point, and that's like the end of the line. Like if you went further, you're in the ocean. So it's a little bit of a different distinction. I feel like this is a little cuter because it's just sliding into the line, as opposed to like the one that was the most northern one was like the terminus, like the end of the road. And that was like monumental feeling, but this is just really cute. There's just this little dinky nothing stop.
Stupid idiot kids have been sitting here ringing this bell for like the whole time we've been here. Ding, 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 ding.
What a stupid idiot. Why are you so harsh on these kids, y'all?
Well, it was bothering me, but you know what? I cannot resist. Oh shit, that was so loud.
You deserve that.
I totally did. I didn't think the bell could be that loud. Wow. Well, karma. All I can see it. I know it's happening. I can't hear it. Wow, how picturesque. It's just stupid. Kurobuta the car now has a spirit animal. It's Kurobuta the Kurobuta. And it turns out this little guy is made from ash from Sakurajima, which is where we will be going tomorrow. So we're taking him back to his origin.
Some days are better than others, and the best days have ponies, and that's what we're doing here. We are at the base of Mount Kaimon, actually kind of on the slope a little bit, and it's still sit overlooking the beautiful ocean and stuff. And apparently here there is a rare breed of pony. And there's one here, and apparently they're like kind of semi-wild. They are from southern Kyushu in the Kagoshima area that we're in. And I saw numbers that were like under the hundreds at some point. I'm not sure what the population is now. And they are called Tokara Uma, which is Tokara, which means nothing. It's just a word that I'm aware of anyway. And then Uma means horse. And they are about 100 to 120 centimeters tall. And I think I can walk over to that and touch it. I think that's the thing that's okay, because other people were doing it. So let's find out. Feel like, whoa, you gotta watch out where you're stepping. Too late.
That was definitely too late for you.
Feel a bit like the crocodile hunter dude, you know, but like in this case, I'm just gonna like sneak up on a pony and hope it doesn't kill me. And I grew up on a farm, so I know you don't sneak up straight behind the pony. That's dangerous. Hi, pony. Can we be friends?
He looks so bushy.
He is really short. I think this is a full-grown adult. So they're not, it's like when we saw the Shetland ponies in Scotland, they were much smaller. This is a bit bigger, but he's skinnier. I wonder if the overall mass is the same, because those Shetland ponies were like thunk. He's a little bit lanky. Hi, pony. You're not down? Can I pet you? Ponies are amazing. This would definitely fit in the car.
This is way more than I thought we would get, because I thought we were just going to come and they were going to be in a pen and we'd watch them scamper. Like, I was willing to pay for scampering.
But the lady was like, watch out where you're driving, you could hit one.
And then even I thought like, oh, we're going to have to stay in the car then and they're not going to let us out. But nope, we're allowed to get out of the car. I'm not going to bother the one laying down because I feel weird about that. Though he looks kind of radical with his hair. They all look radical with their hair. I'm kind of scared of them. They're so big.
Don't walk up directly behind them. That's all I can say, because they can kick.
I'm
you
going
don't want
this
to scare
way.
him. Yeah, this guy, he looks all right.
He looks like, do they bite?
Yeah, he'll bite you. For sure.
That's not very nice. I was having a moment. Don't do it again, guy. They're just cool with it. And they have the most radical hair ever. What about your ear? What about your ear? Very soft ears. It's going through the car wash. Whoosh, whoosh. Totally worth it. They don't scamper though. They're very non-scampery. I feel like a lot of people got to have these moments with big animals, and I never really got to have these moments with big animals where like I understood what it was. Like there were horse girls when you were growing up and you grew up on a farm, and I never had these moments where like they still scare me a little bit. They're too big. Like I've hung out with big dogs. That's probably about like the biggest.
Your brother's dog is about this size.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Weather report, 16 degrees outside. Woo! Smells like a horse. we've got one of those cars that it turns off automatically, like when you're at a stoplight or whatever, to conserve fuel. But we found an oddity about this that we've been trying to nail down, and I think we've nailed it down. Hopefully it shows in this video. Yes, I'm driving in a circle right now to trick the car into thinking that it's done something important. So we're doing that important thing, which is driving in a circle. So I'm going to go up here. The car, I'm going to stop. The car is like, oh, we're at a stoplight. Let's just take a break. Currently my foot is on the brake pedal. I'm going to put it into park. Nothing has happened. The car is like, all right, I'm in park. Taking my foot off of the brake pedal now. Nothing has happened. The car is just like, all right, we're stopped. Things are going great. Now, I'm going to push my seatbelt. This turns the car back on. What? And Eric's like, I assume since he's not driving, he's been sitting there thinking like, every time she gets there, the car just restarts. I haven't had my foot on the brake, nowhere near the brakes, nowhere near the gas. I push the seatbelt and it comes back on. So now I have to tell the car to like turn itself completely off from this point. It's really strange. Plug my seatbelt back in.
I am...
Nothing.
I am baffled. Who would want the car to turn on from unbuckling the seatbelt? I can't figure out the lot. Some dudes in like a laboratory were like planning out what the car should do, and somebody was like, yeah, this is that behavior that it should have. Because like, I'm just blown away.
I'm shocked.
The whole time I'm thinking you're over here like pushing the accelerator by accident or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it's just...
And I explained to him, I was like, both my feet are on the ground. Like, I'm not touching any of the pedals. I'm not touching the gear shift. I push my seatbelt, and it turns back on.
Somebody should push an update out.
Yeah, this is surprising. You're gonna die, son.
How do you figure?
Yeah, it looks safe.
You're filming that? Yeah. We're rolling up Pony Mountain here, which is now what I'm going to be calling this. And it's a pretty like distinct peak. It's got a good shape, kind of like a Mount Fuji type thing where it just kind of pops up out of a big flat area, and then you've got this really cool mountain. And it turns out it's actually a volcano, and it is volcanic in the sense of recently has erupted. I'm not sure when, I don't know how many numbers, but recently enough has erupted that you have a lot of like volcanic style rock that is all over the place. And I've been to Hawaii like way back in the day when I was a kid, and it feels a lot like that, where the type of plant life and stuff that I'm seeing and these like, you know, fresh from the oven rocks are kind of laying all over the place. It's very, very volcanic, and that's good because, like I said, Pony Mountain is actually Pony Volcano.
We're about to kill a lot of birds with one stone, and that stone being the building that I'm sitting in. In this building...
Those birds being pigs.
And those birds being pigs, potatoes, and eggs. The first thing that you think about when you come to Kagoshima is kuro buta. And out in the car we've left our new friend because we're basically about to eat him. That would be the pig down in here. Ibusuki is now becoming famous for tanaran don. Tama is for egg. Ran, I don't really know what that is. And don is one of our favorite dishes, stuff on top of rice. The egg is cooked to this consistency.
It says it's an onsen tamago.
Onsen tamago, which just means that it's soft boiled. It's going to break open and coat all of the rice and everything in deliciousness. The buta, the pig, it tastes or smells, I haven't tasted it yet, smells like hickory. It is a delightful smell. You're looking at yours like, oh, I'm waiting. And then they also gave us satsumaimo. I'm gonna try that first. This area is known for satsuma, and that's like these fish cake things. But
I've seen satsumaimo places as well, so I think this is from here as well.
But I want to say that everywhere is famous for sweet potatoes in Japan. Let's see how the game's going here.
What is it dripping in?
Sweet water, like honey water. This is just like potato taking a bath in honey. That's what it is. Fantastic. Big fan of that. That will be dessert. Now the bacon. I've not bacon, I've pig, but it's sliced like bacon, so it made me think that. They say that this is their speciality, which is the speciality of the city as well. It's fantastic. Like, that meat is just stunning.
It's like a sweet thing, or what's going on?
It's sweet and meat, definitely.
Perfect, sweet meat.
And then it's covered with some sesame seeds, so it's got a little bit of pop as you go. And we don't need to taste the egg, we just need to watch it do that. And I guess that's kind of the sensation of tamarandon. Let that egg just flow into your food.
Katie misspoke and called this bacon, and she's really not that far off actually. It's of course pork, and it's not actually bacon, but it's very similar in texture to like a Japanese bacon. It's a little bit floppy, and we used to get jokes about like floppy bacon here, but I gotta say it's something that I kind of like now. I haven't been here so long. Like we used to kind of like rip on it, but yeah, this is amazingly good. And I think like the standout bit is the entire situation. It's not just like the single item. It's not just the pork or the flavor of the pork. It's the fact that it's got the pork. It's the fact that you've got the satsuma on the side. And it's the fact that they actually went to the trouble to put tomatoes into it. And it just gives it a really cool appearance. And it's like a trip for the taste buds rather than just focusing on one specific area. You get all these different things going on. It's just very well thought out. I'm really impressed with this, especially seeing as it's like less than $10. Spot on.
We're gonna go on a kyde alone adventure. And here in this town, Ibusuki, you can go tsunamushi. I don't think that's a verb, but you can go for a sand bath. And that's what I'm going to do. Outside on the beach, the sands here are like a bit of an onsen, so they are heated and warm and nice. So I've come to essentially a bathhouse, but I guess more like a sand house, and it's a hotel. And I've purchased a face towel, a yukata, and a bath towel. I've got my 3 items, and I'm about to go into the dressing room to change. So essentially, you go in just like you would an onsen, and you're going to disrobe, and you put on your new robe, and then you go outside to the beach. So I can't take pictures in the special ladies' room, but I'm going that way. Before you go out to the beach, you need to put on some flip-flops, because I don't have my shoes anymore because I took them off a long time ago. And the flip-flops here, they are labeled by size. I will be wearing the blues, gonna be sporting the blue. And apparently it's 10.5 inches in non-metric, the inch system. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, but metrically I'm a 25, so I'm gonna go with the 26. I don't want to go too small, or maybe I'll fall down, I don't know. I just figured out that the blue is for boys. I've got big feet. Eric is waiting for me. Oh, he just saw me. Eric's been waiting. He gets to see me in the cute yukata. He's gonna love it. I did the bow myself. Earlier there was a gigantic line, like at least 15 people, and now there is no line. I guess me taking my sweet time has proven to be good.
The heat coming up out of the sand is no joke. There's a sign on the beach here that says that sometimes it can get up to 85 degrees, which is like pretty damn hot. Like hot enough that it would like hurt your feet if you were walking along it without any shoes on. And if you dig down just a little tiny bit with a stick, you can feel it getting pretty warm in certain areas. So I wonder if like it kind of comes and goes with the amount of heat that comes out of the ground, because it's certainly not 85 degrees now, but if they're putting up signs that are explaining that, you know, you could burn your feet, I'm sure that sometimes it could be.
I'm gonna shoot some video now to explain what just happened and to fill in any holes in the video for the future. So I got changed. I came out here to the beach, and I went up to the line. There was no one there. They ushered me in and put the tripod down. The lady helped me make sure that everything was set up, but I don't think I did a very good job on the focus. We'll find out. She had me lay down. She wrapped my gown around me just to make sure that I was comfortable and that the sand wasn't going to go into some bad places. And then her and another person sat there burying me, which felt very strange at first. Just, this shouldn't be happening. And then once it's on you, you're just enveloped. When I started dating Eric, he used to put like 17 blankets on the bed. It was very much like that. It was like, Eric, there was so many blankets. And it was just, you're solidly there, incubated. And it felt amazing. And the angle that I got to look out at like this gray sky that matched the black sand, and it was just perfect. I really, really enjoyed that. I want this in my life more. They told me you have to dig yourself out. That felt really weird. That was very, very fun. Probably one of the best things I've done in Japan. Awesome. I get easily bummed. If I think that something's gonna go in a particular way and then it doesn't go in a particular way, I broke down a few minutes ago and was just like, all right, I'm shutting off because things didn't go the way that I thought they were gonna go. But then I sat there and I thought about it, and a conversation with a different waiter, and I got the thing that I wanted. It was the difference of 100 yen and just someone going yes. The first guy was like, no. And I don't know why he said no, because the other guy was like, 100 yen, oh, sounds good. Like, it was a difference of 100 yen. And it got me this machine. There goes your chopstick. Inside this machine, there is some fish. This is katsuo. And we tried to see some stuff about katsuo the other day, but the holidays got in our way and we didn't get to see it. Katsuo is put into this machine, and then you turn the handle. I saw him do it like this. You gotta push down really hard with like all your might. I think I gotta do it the other way. It's seriously glued to the table. There we go. That was hard. And then you get your fresh flakes for your soup. My soup came with flakes already. This is gonna be over flaked to the max. And he's giggling because like I made a point that I wanted to do this, and maybe other people don't make a point that they want to do this, but here are my flakes. Eric, you will not like this soup at all.
I can smell it from here, dude. I'm not intrigued.
And normally, like when you make it, they're longer flakes and they kind of dance around on your plate. I think it's only cutting this small area, so that's why you're not really getting something that's a bigger, dancier thing, but you know, that is how it is. I got to do it. I've actually been waiting since Halloween to do that because I went to a restaurant in Tokyo that was supposed to do that and it was closed. So I have finally succeeded in shaving my own flakes.
How are the flakes, man?
I don't know. Do I pay attention to the regular flakes? Kinda no. They're good. It's got a thickness to it that other flakes don't have. Like, it tastes meatier.
Well, it's right off the bone, baby.
It's right off the bone. Yes, I am a happy, happy camper. I guess it's the guy that manages the store, or he's really in on these fish and he knows what to do. He brought me one that like they bought from the store. You can see the bones here, and it actually feels like petrified wood. Like I'm holding onto a log, but this used to be a fish. I don't know what they've done to it. I mean, even some of like the lines and the coloring to it looks like wood, but it tastes like fish. Just some foreigner shit.
What?
Only the foreigners coming up, touching the noodles. I've seen so many, and I've never even seen a child do it. Like, no Japanese child has ever done that because...
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, good point.
That was some of the weirdest B-roll I've ever shot. I just felt like I fisted the earth. She's warm.
Kagoshima's pretty cool.
We hope you dug our first video from Kagoshima. Make sure you're subscribed to see more from what becomes one of our favorite parts of Japan. Liking and commenting helps too. If you'd like to help us make more videos, check out our Patreon link below. Without support there, these videos wouldn't be possible.